Hello friends, welcome. This is part 29 of Shep's Spiritual Awakening and Destiny. In this part I wish to talk about Peter Citadel sitting with myself in his front room, beginning the Father God's spiritual awakening of the earthly plane. Now, on Peter's birthday, the 13th of June 1995, this was his 50th birthday, he began the awakening. And we got up and we were sat together in the front room, and Peter told me what he was going to do. He told me that he was going to begin Father God's spiritual awakening of the earthly plane by saying a sequence of special prayers to Father God personally himself, which he didn't say in front of me. He said them directly through his light, I guess, to Father God. But at the same time, I was there in his presence also, but that he was going to link with the three that come here in the late 40s, mid to late 40s with him, who I've already said, I can only remember who one of them is. They're all come from the UK, but the main one is Cat Stevens, and he has songs and such like that talk about peace and love upon the world. The other one is another famous singer, and there was one more that was a TV host back in the 70s, I believe. I can't remember who they were though. So he linked with these three and sent out his prayer to Father God, asking as an earthly instrument upon the earth for Father God to bring an awakening to the earth. And that was his purpose, to come here and begin that. Now, after he'd finished, he turned to me and he said, "You have an important role to play in the awakening," which up until this point I had not assumed. I had just assumed I was here to aid Peter in whatever he was going to do. So he turned and said I had an important role, and he said, "My work is now done, and now it is yours to take on where I leave off." And it dawned on me at that instance that I was here to be Father God's teacher, and I was taken aback by that. I'd never even started to think those sort of things. He said, "From now you will be Father God's disciple." And I guess by that he means that Father God will give me the experiences in this life that are necessity for me and the task, and to achieve whatever Father God wanted me personally to achieve before such time as I go forward to teach upon this world, whenever that may be, as an appropriate instrument. But by that point I would have been able to get through to the spirit realm and be awoken to my past life, of course, because he has studied under the Master Jesus Christ for 2,000 years, so he would be a good instrument, probably in an awoken state within myself, to be a impartial teacher and to give good guidelines, hopefully. So it's Father God's awakening, and Peter turned to me and he said, "I am nothing." And I said, no, you're the Son of God. But I now see how he said that he is nothing, and I too am nothing, because you are nothing without Father God's help. If he wants this world to find its way into peace and find its way into love and harmony, that you in yourself can do little, but with Father God's help and guidance you can do a lot to help this world. So I turn to Father God to be my spirit guide. Well, after all this, suddenly it started to dawn on me within a few days that I was going, why me? Why me? Why me? What makes me, different or right for this task? Why me? Why me? I kept saying it for a few days. And I then realised, well, I said, why me? I'm not spiritual, I'm not religious. But then I realised, of course, that if you come to be a world teacher, being of a religion, you'd favour that religion above all others. So I knew it was never meant for me to be religious. or even really spiritual, because I probably would have gone on a different path to what Father God might have wanted me to go on. And Peter had taken me to the spiritualist church, and he said these are people of a like mind. So I had found those I could learn from, the spiritualists. I don't agree with everything they say, of course not. I find my own truth, but you listen to some and you take a part of that for yourself, and you reject a part maybe and find your own spirituality, and that's what I've done. But they are very likened to myself because they're interested in spiritual healing, spiritual development, a way of life, living a good life and such like, as many other religions are. But they're also very interested in communicating with spirit and proving the existence and continuation of life hereafter, which they do very well. So that's what I'm interested in too, as well as being a teacher. So Father God's given me the destiny and put me in the right place to learn, because there's a church just down the road from me which I can go to, which I've stopped going to now. I stopped about 4 or 5 weeks ago going, because I'd been going for healing mostly for the last couple of years, but I used to go to the services and all sorts and development classes. But you know, I'm finding my own road now, and that's going to be that. But you know, I knew that, why me, that I must have the nature and what Father God thought necessity for the purpose I'm going through. And I have been through some extreme hardship and torture where I feel many would give up and turn back. And one of the things I've learned is to persevere to get to the top of the mountain. And Father God gave me that reading that there'd be many mountains to climb for me, and he wasn't joking. And I always knew that when I started my service, I found commitment and devotion to it, and you know, I committed my life to it and said that would be a good thing to do with my life, to help others here upon this world. And I saw the suffering and the darkness upon this world, and if I could help that, then I would humbly wish to go and do so. But I, you know, knew the risks right from the start, because I knew straight away that Christ had been crucified, and Father God did not stop that from happening. So I knew I could be at risk, and straight away, soon after, I got attacked by spirit, and that was a risk, yes, and I've suffered greatly because of it. But it's brought many lessons, and I still have to overcome the mountain yet. But also, other things showed the hand of God was with me, because I knew I'd been a disciple of Christ, and I too, as Mark and Christ, was born to Mary in this lifetime. And also, I become a shepherd, and of course if Father God sends somebody here upon the world, he wants them to be a shepherd to mankind. And the other thing is, I was also given a namesake of Christ in my second forename, and that is Christopher, which means love of Christ in the heart. So it began from there, and you know, the awakening began on Peter's birthday, and he turned to me and said, it is yours to take on where I leave off. So I bless you, I thank you for watching. See you in the next video. So the awakening, my friends, is begun. It's just going to begin to be noticed at the right time. And Peter told me it was to bring our attention to the existence of the afterlife and God and his proof and truth of his existence. So I bless you. Website links, other links below this video. Love and light. Shep.